Guys, I think we're live. See right here. I have to always check with my phone. Alright, I think we're good. Alright guys, we have a lot ready for tonight. I guess Paul's gonna come out and do his speech. He's got everything all figured out. He's been working on it for the last week. Council put a lot of effort into this. One of my arguments is I've been fighting for elections for the last, I don't know, over 10 years probably. I spoke to people from AAA and everything. There's a lot of ballots that get sent back. A lot of members' information isn't correct. A lot of you people contact me saying you never received the ballot. And even though we've dealt with this year after year after year, it seems to be the council can't seem to get their act together to figure out how to contact people. But when they want to have a meeting to express their opinion during an election, which basically I see what they're doing tonight is an election thing, right? They're coming out to combat questions about their so-called consolidation / merger, right? We don't have to look back, guys, too far. About 4 or 5 months ago, right? They told us there was going to be no merger, and they told you what a great job they were doing, right? And then I was wrong, and there was 98% funded in the pension fund, and everything was going great. And they actually were saying it right prior to going to getting ready to go to the convention, and then came back to the convention, and everything I said became factual, right? So now they want to merge the council into a 15-state. That's another thing I want to explain to people. I'm going to stop calling it an Eastern Regional Council. I'm going to call it a 15-state super council, because think about it, guys. It's 15 states going to be merged into one, right? So it's actually one of the questions that was actually sent out. It goes, it's asking about the pension plan. Has McCarran merging 30 pension plans into 3 pensions amongst themselves outside? Have you had any discussions with the trustees about this? So these are questions that are going to be given to Paul, I guess. These are some of the questions people forward to me that they sent to Paul. I doubt Paul's going to answer these questions. I've spoken to people before that work with the Women's Committee. They vet all the questions way before they get them. No one's going to ask them off the shoulder questions. They're not going to get caught off guard. So I think every answer we get tonight is going to be rehearsed. There's something to really consider here. I know Paul's going to be truthful in this thing. I hope he is. I don't think he can give a straight answer, because we're not going to know what's going to happen after this merger. But if you just look at what it is, right? 15 states will merge into, and every other state, including Chicago, they all seen an increase in retirement age and loss of retirement medical. So it's very hard to believe that we're not going to be the same as them, right? We're not going to merge into 15 other states. We're the only ones with retirement medical at 55 and out, and think we're going to uphold that would be ridiculous, I think. But listen, you know what? Maybe 6 months or 8 months from now, you guys be calling me up after I don't win, and you'll be telling me, oh, they took my retirement medical away. Listen, guys, this is on all of you. Everyone's got to do their part. They got to call the council. You got to do your part. You got to make sure your information's okay. Make sure you're getting a ballot. You got to be on top of it. If there's a problem, you got to contact the election monitor's office. And I'm going to post his information in email as well, and his office number, so you can contact him. We got to stay on top of this stuff. So some of the other questions that came in was about the medical benefits and what's going on with the medical. Guys, it's called a PBM, right? It's a pharmaceutical benefit management firm is what this Level Care is going to be. You guys can research it yourself. Got some other people looking into it for me. Very shady looking. A lot of them are. If you look across the country, a lot of shady stuff goes on with these things. And I got a lot of more questions myself, so I'm not going to start answering questions that I don't have the answers on as well. With that being said, let's just see some of these other questions people are pushing out there, and some notes that I took down myself. One of the other big things, guys, we have to really consider is, put this merger aside, right? We have some big problems in the city. You got, I took pictures and videos out in front of several non-union jobs. You have Kingdom doing major projects all over the city. You got Extel doing jobs. I mean, we're running no interference on these. We're just letting them go. There's not even a picket line in front of these. I for the life of me can't understand it. When I started this business, there were several picket lines put up on different locals all over the city. Extel's got some major studio buildings going up for ABC up on 66th Street. And where's the pressure? We're not putting any pressure on the jobs he has now. These contracted developers have actually friends of mine actually spoken to people in that, and they're actually shocked that there's zero resistance. And that's the part that's actually shocking these contractors. They're realizing that they're getting away with it because nobody's stopping it. What do we got here? Who's going to be managing the funds going forward? Who will be the professional accountants? Obviously, if I get elected, that'll be something I have to address when I get into office. So I can't answer that question right now, but I will tell you one thing: when I get into office, there'll be a forensic audit done on all the accounts, every single account that I can do an audit on. I will do an audit on it, and I will get back to the members on the findings of all of that stuff, and the trustees. I'll make sure the trustees and delegates know that information as well as the members. Exactly how many labor management trustees will carry over from our current fund? That's, guys, these are questions, like, once again, I'm not there, I can't tell you, but if I look at across the other mergers, a lot of the people working at this council will no longer have jobs. I mean, I'm a little shocked that people in the council working there haven't figured it out. I mean, I'm assuming Christine O'Brien did. She knew enough to jump ship, and she went to work for Frank Spence's company. She realized the benefit fund probably won't be there much longer. That's my guess, you know what I'm saying? That's my opinion on that one. So, what mechanics will be put in place to assure current retirees' calculation for pension credits to the district council plan participating stays in place? There will be none. Okay, that's my concern, guys, is that the formula you have today, that dollar value will stay, but moving forward, everything can change. So if you just look at what just happened in Chicago and Midwest, they changed. It kicked up to 62 and 65 in some areas, and you cannot retire until you're 65. And if you do retire before 65, you're going to pay like a 30% reduction. Like if you went out at 55, you lose 30% of your pension, and they lost retirement money going forward. So I don't care how they want to calculate the numbers. They say they want to give you more money, but if you got to put another 10 years in the business, you're getting out of 55 and 65 is apples and oranges. Now remember, a lot of these council employees, they can't collect their international pension until they're 62. So they don't really care that they got to work this, to them it's no big deal, but they're not climbing up on A-frames and doing the physical work that we're doing every day. So for them it's a little different. Well, early retirement age 55 now have to start paying penalties for every year they don't reach 30 credits. My answer would be yes. I think from what I read in the pension plans outside New York and that we're merging into, that even if you have 30 credits, you can't get out before 62 in one of them. How that's going to work out, I don't know. This is the problem, guys. Paul could tell you what he wants to tell you, and the trustees here, but when we merge into these 15 states, it's not going to be just them making these decisions, okay? So that's my big problem. Why would we have what everyone else wants? We have the best plan. We have the 55 and out, the full medical, right? We have everything. Everyone else is dying to have. We have it. So why would we get in bed with and get into decisions where we would lose all the power to navigate our future? I don't get it. These are questions I hope Paul answers tonight. Like I said, once again, I'm doubting it's not going to happen. But what else are we talking about? Guys are talking about the dock builders, right? All these other specialty trades, right? Organizing. All right. So listen, guys, that's another thing too. You know what? They hired a bunch of reps and organizers, right? And how many guys do we need from component? It seems like every time I go down there's another organizer hired for component to do drywall. The dock builders don't even have an organizer. They don't even have an organizer signed to their work. So how are we going to go after that work? Who's going to go negotiate with these contractors? You ain't going to send one of these guys out to do it. I was online before, and, it's kind of heartbreaking for me. I mean, I get it. We want to give out book bags and stuff like that and help kids going back to school. But that's not what business agents and organizers were hired to do. I mean, we could do, we could get retirees, and we could get, we could pay stipends to people who are at work. We could get, volunteers to do it, let them get their picket duty for the day. But it's got to stop, guys. These organizers and business agents, that's what they were hired to do. They're not hired to give out turkeys. They weren't hired to give out book bags. And it's an everyday thing. Everyday thing. There's 70-story buildings going up, and we're not going after this work. I'm baffled, why do we need all these organizers that came out of component? And we're not even going after the drywall guys. We're not even going after it. So my question would be, these specialty trades need their own organizers, trained to be going after dock builder work. There's a big, listen, the job I just saw with Kingdom and the jobs with Extel, these all jobs coming out of the ground. all private dock builder work is gone. We have to start. We used to have all that work, all that foundation work, and when this infrastructure work stops, these dock builders are going to hit some really hard times, and we got to plan ahead for that. I don't know. I don't know why they keep doing this with these organizers and how they hire these people and what their actual goals are. But look for yourselves, guys. Go online. You see it on the internet. They're, giving out book bags, and give it a couple of weeks. They'll be handing out turkeys again. You guys will be scratching your head like, guys are out of work. Guys need jobs. People need help out there. And I don't understand why we're doing this when we don't need organizers and business agents being paid $150,000, $200,000 a year to hand out book bags. I just think it's crazy. But, that's got to be fixed. If I get in there, that'll come to an end. I'll put a stop to that, and we'll get retirees. We'll get our volunteers. We'll find people to do the work. We'll pay stipends. Maybe we'll cover people's union dues for like the retirees for a year or something, and we'll figure something out. But we'll find a way to do it. We're going to keep organizers and business agents doing what they were hired to do. Okay, they're not going to be going to conventions and flying all over the place and hanging out in Atlantic City and stuff like that. They're going to be here doing their jobs, and we'll put together committees for people to handle the other stuff that needs to be handled, and then we'll have them report back and report to the members or the trustees and the delegates that way. I want to make sure that we have our representatives out in the field every day doing their jobs to make sure you guys have jobs to go to. That's my main thing here. So while I'm at this, let me flip back if you guys have any questions. I think I'm right over here somewhere. By the way, anyone that doesn't realize it, the Labor Day parade will be this Saturday. I think they're lining up on Madison, and I'm not sure of the address. I'll have to check that. I myself will be going, so I'll be showing up. So just give me 1 second, guys. I'm looking for the video feed here to see where the questions are. I can't see it on my screen on the computer. But if you guys have anything, please send them over, and I'll answer what I can for you. Give me 1 second, guys. The members out there, if you're getting bombarded by business agents now that are showing up on job sites, you have to you have to report it. If you're getting bombarded and you're having like a 4 or 5 business agents show up in your job and they're harassing you about what your questions are for the union, make sure you report that to the election monitor. Make sure it's put on record. It's important. We have to make sure that no one's going to be harassed by anybody. So we got to stay on top of that. So anyway, I don't want to keep everyone on here. So I'm looking at some of these questions on here. What do we got here? Carpenters fighting. I got that. Martin Flynn. Thanks, guys. Guys, I guess I'm not speaking loud enough. Usually I'm speaking too loud. What was I going to say to you guys? What else were they talking about? We have an issue with the retirees that are going out to retire now, right? Guys are complaining to me. They're saying, are they going to be grandfathered in? It was one of the questions I got text over just a minute ago. My answer is probably no. I don't think so. I don't think that's the way it's going to work. There have been some provisions put in place with some of these mergers where they offered medical for 3 years, but then they cut it off after that. But people that are already retired, your guess is as good as mine how they're going to negotiate this. This won't be in our hands. I say after this merger, guys, it's going to be up to grabs, And that's something else I want to bring up real quick. I spoke with a delegate the other day. He's actually a delegate to the convention, a delegate to his local. And I'm a little shocked because I was shocked he told me this. But, we got into a discussion about the merger and what was going on. And he was under some type of impression that if we do this merger or consolidation, he kept calling it because he said it's a consolidation of firms, that if we don't like the outcome or where it's going, that we're going to be able to turn around and take our money back out. And that is totally ridiculous. Do not believe if anybody is telling you that, they are lying to you. It will never happen. That is just use your common sense, guys. There is 9 billion reasons why they want to merge us, okay? 9 billion reasons, all right? If they get this and the merger happens, they are going to control the funds. There is no pulling the plug and backing out of this. That'll never happen. So who's ever telling you that or wherever this information is coming from, it's totally off the wall. So You guys use your common sense, and think about it when the person's telling you, and think of the person who's trying to sell it to you. Think about what's their agenda and how they're trying to pitch it to you. Remember, these are the same people telling you 5 months ago everything was peachy green and nothing's wrong, and we're 98% funded and everything's great and there's going to be no merger. And now they're trying to twist the words on and play their word salad games to try to get you to believe that everything's going to be fine again. Handing people over your check, your money, is a ridiculous way. It's like me taking your wallet and pulling your credit cards and money out of it and just handing you back your wallet. That's what you're going to do. And, the building is owned by the pension fund, guys. I cannot express that enough for you to understand it. So down the road, the trustees will make a decision of what happens with that building. And my guess is they'll sell it. That's why I think everything's moving to the 4th floor. And down the road, that will be their next thing will be to sell off the building and take the assets so they can invest it. And it's a big asset for them. I don't think they, remember, when you deal with people from 15 of the states, they don't have to draw the attention of our building being what it means to us. To them, it's just a building and it's money assets. And they're going to be more keen on getting the money assets so they can reinvest that money. And the money that's going to be coming back, don't think that all this money that they're saving you it's going to put money in your pocket. It's going to bail out a lot of the funds and help a lot of the people across the states. But it ain't necessarily going to help you. So that's something to think about. Listen, if your retirement medical and your future like that's not important and you want to believe these guys, then by all means vote for them. I can't, I'm not twisting anyone's arm on what to do. I think you should do your own research and try to figure out where you want to go. I did my interview today with the election monitor. I did well on it. I understand the position ahead of us. I know what's got to be done as far as, making sure everyone down there is accountable. A lot of changes will happen down there when I get in there. I'm going to give everyone a fair shot when I get down there. Everyone to do their job, which I think everyone will get on board. I have a lot of good ideas. I think that are going to help us. Help us push to get work back and control our jurisdiction. So that's all I can do, guys. I'm going to do. A lot of people have opinions and a lot of people tell you a lot of stuff, but it takes a lot to do what I'm doing. Don't fool yourself. You get on here, you throw your head in the ring, and you decide to run, and they come at you with stupid comments and statements all the time. It's just ridiculous. Some of the stuff, but a lot of it's from people that are just they're jealous or they're angry or they have their own sweet deal and they know that they couldn't make it in the real world, so they were handpicked. A lot of people were handpicked. And believe it or not, when you get outside the city, when you go to these other states, a lot more people are handpicked. A lot of these people were put in there by, they're related to other people within the council. That's why when this Northeast Regional thing happens, you're going to lose a lot of people we know. Like, it'll change. They're not keeping everyone up. The teachers will change. Delegates and locals are going to change. They're going to merge locals. You're going to see big changes happen. They're going to consolidate everything because they're going to try to save money. And they're not going to care about locals and numbers and any deals that these guys have with previous people. Those all will be swept to the side. They do it in other mergers. They're going to do it in this one. They did it in the Long Island local. They did it in the Westchester local. And for you guys that are lucky you're working on jobs, talk to those other members. It's very important you talk to them. Get their perspective on what they think is going to happen. Because every one of them I've talked to, they've all told me, fight this thing. Don't let them take it away. They screwed us. That's what they're all telling me. So that's your best bet is, talk to the people that went through it already and see what their opinions are. All right. Well, guys, we're about 20 minutes into this, and I said it would be a short video tonight, so I'm going to make it. I recommend you guys, for those who did it, go log on the Corporate Benefit Fund and log on to Paul's meeting tonight. Let's see what he has to say. Let's hope he answers the questions that are given to him. I think it's going to be a rehearsed question. Keep in mind, some of the questions he gives you, he's just answering it on his perspective, right? He doesn't know. To me, this is campaigning in a way because he can't tell the future, right? Because if he could, then he would have known that we would have had this merger headed our way anyway, right? And consolidation of money. I don't know why. Paul's a good businessman. He owns tons of real estate, Section 8 buildings. I don't think he's an idiot by no means. I don't feel like why he's going down this road. I know he's got connections with the council and the international, but whatever those reasons be, that's between Paul and whoever he's making those deals with. But my deals with the members, the rank and file, and the people out there to make sure that they have a good retirement, a good annuity, and by all means, retirement medical for their families. Because to me, that's what's important. I know how important it is to you. So with that being said, guys, I'll talk to you hopefully next week. And next Wednesday, for those who can make it, the delegate meeting will be the nominations to come down. I'll be down there with my slate to get nominated. So anyone who's free within the city, please by all means stop in, show your support. And listen, we kick the ball off then, right? October 29th, the next day, right, when the ballots come out. But we'll be campaigning along the way. So I'll be seeing you guys around here and there. So reach out to me if anybody has any questions, and we'll talk soon. All right?